I think that it is smart to learn from our mistakes, but it is even better if we can learn from the mistakes of others and not to repeat them in our life. Today's video is about Elvira, the leading actress in the movie Scarface. And she is one of the characters that are equally as inspiring as broken. A true lesson on how to be and how not to be at the same time. And Elvira is definitely teaching us many lessons in this movie, so let's get right into the video. And as always, let's start with the plot. Scarface is a crime thriller movie directed in 1983 by Brian De Palma. It tells a story about Tony Montana, who with his close friend Manny builds a strong drug empire in Miami. He falls in love with Elvira, who he meets when he is poor and who inspired him to work hard to achieve the success that he wants. However, as his power begins to grow, so does his ego and his enemies, and his own paranoia begins to plague his empire. And for me, Elvira is the true highlight of this movie. I always am interested in different characters and how they act and behave within the frames of their story. We see Elvira in her first scene where Tony is so attracted to her. She appears as a goddess. Her cold and emotionally unavailable demeanor adds a lot of mystery and charm to her. She appears as the most unavailable and unattainable dream of any man. Tony knows that with a woman like that by his side, he would be able to achieve the social status he always dreamed of. And Elvira has certainly inspired me to be a woman of high standards. She is a great example of the fact that men like a good challenge and that a woman of high caliber is a status symbol in any society, the ultimate male desire and fantasy. And throughout the movie, she appears like a very hard to get woman, and the only way she was able to accept Tony at the end was that he achieved his financial status. And what I liked about Elvira is the minimalistic style that she had throughout the movie. I think that she truly appeared like a goddess in her satin dress. And the good lesson from Elvira's story is the goddess effect that she was able to achieve by her looks and behavior. She showed that she is a woman of high standards and that she expects a lot from any man who would want to be with her. She showed that she is not going to settle for a life she doesn't want. And I have to say that I find that admirable about her. The relationship between Tony and Elvira was based on masculine and feminine representation of status. She had the looks and no substance, and she was like an empty doll and a status symbol to any man. He had the money and he also lacked the substance of a true high-value man. I think that therefore it was a relationship of two empty shells and a relationship that could never succeed. Throughout the movie, we could see how she was playing on his ego, and I think that it was a first sign that showed that not everything that glitters is gold and that a woman's beauty can never be a substitute for her lack of inner beauty. She treated him badly when he was poor, and he gave her back the same treatment once he was in his power. And I think the character would appear whole if she kept the goddess-like look, even the cold and unavailable demeanor, but still if she was kind, educated, and ambitious herself. She treated Tony poorly the entire time that he didn't have her. And I think that this fueled him to win her and therefore prove to himself that he could achieve it. I think therefore she was just an empty achievement for him. A trophy he could win and put on his shelf, and a statue that once attainable loses its value. And I think that certainly she was lacking the substance that would actually make her a high-value woman. She was the packaging without the substance, and no one will ever respect that. And I often speak about how important it is to have our inside right. She was a beautiful but a very broken woman who could not sustain or obtain any healthy relationship. And the nasty words Tony was speaking about her was actually a mirrored behavior. She had the power before he had her, then she abused the power by treating him like a dog. And he gave her back the pleasure by treating her so badly after he already had her and she depended on him. And I think that a truly healthy woman would never accept the disrespect the first time it happened. Yet Elvira was putting up with that until she left him at the end. And I think that Elvira would put up with this behavior because she knew that outside her appearance and the clothes she wore, she was pretty much empty and she did not have much to offer. And I think that she could not even articulate a good response to him, nor she could decide to leave him. Her value was in the man she dated and the money he provided, and she had to submit to that. She lost the power that she had the moment she allowed someone to possess her. And this movie taught me about the importance of healing and working on ourselves so that we are more wholesome, keeping ourselves healthy and high value, never overplaying our looks on the expense of an empty inside. And Elvira certainly inspired me for the goddess effect that she had on Tony, and she showed once again the power women have over men. However, she is also an example of a broken woman who, because of a lack of good self-concept, did not know that men's money is not the only thing she should look for. And this is why, ladies, it is so important to work on your inside along working on your looks. A physically attractive woman who is empty on the inside has no knowledge, no insights, no values, dreams, aspirations. She cannot be a high-value lady. And so you need to work on yourself. And I spoke about it in my video on how to be the most attractive woman in any room. And I will link it down below. And I said in this video that your outside is only a part of being attractive, and it is actually your inner beauty that shines and adds value to you. So Elvira also teaches us how important it is to choose the right man. A man who doesn't only have the money and status but also a rich inside. A person who can respect and love you, not just someone who can buy you and will see you as nothing more than a possession.